In this episode,
You know who's really behind keeping the suppressors down? Hearing aid companies. All the grandpas. They all got them hearing aids from all those rounds of the deer.
Yep.
That is a
Storming the
conspiracy
beaches of
theory
Normandy.
I have not heard.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have the perfect man for this conspiracy.
You in on that too?
in an obtuse world, Mark and Jefe will combine military, law enforcement, and general FUD knowledge to keep you vertical. Welcome to the Live, Laugh, Larp podcast.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by another episode of the Live, Laugh, LARP podcast. This is our shit show extravaganza, and let me tell you, we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. Unfortunately, this time, it really does break my heart. Jefe is not able to join us, but I do want to say, once again, a huge congratulations to him and his family because he has a new bundle of joy. But with that being said, we have a whole host of characters that is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about, obviously, SHOT Show. We're going to a couple of guys that's first time, so we get an idea of what has surprised them, what has shocked them, how overwhelmed they are, cool things that they saw. And then we also have, the veterans here, I guess you could say. In addition to that, we have returning guests, which is always great. Every single one of the people that we're going to be talking with, has been on the show before. So that's something exciting, and I'm here for it. So we're going to go ahead and go around the horn, starting off with Kyle. Jump in there.
Oh, hell of a one. This is Kyle with the Gear Know-How. Been going to SHOT Show, I don't know, not as long as Mark, but probably 5 years now.
Yep.
Fifth one, probably. Yep. It's been a great time. A lot of fun. Good to hit up everybody you haven't seen over the year. So it's been a good time so far.
Yep.
A lot of walking.
Right on. So we'll swing it over to Rodrigo. He made a brief appearance at the Kalash Bash special. So, Rodrigo, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, this is Rodrigo. I'm also known as H-Town Werewolf on YouTube and Instagram, and this was my first SHOT Show. And all I can say now is that it was pretty intense. It was so big, so many people. So pretty excited.
Yep. And then swinging on over, we got Joe, of course, our buddy.
Hello and welcome.
There it is. There it
Jill
is.
with Firearm Freedom, and also my first SHOT Show experience.
Yep.
So
Outstanding. And then
Absolutely.
finally, we have our boy, Matt.
Hello there.
Hello.
Matt Murray with PSA here. No, we're here doing media this year, actually, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
SHOT Show year 2 was a booth bunny 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now we're doing media.
Yep. And so who are you doing media with? Tell us real quick, what's that like? Because as content creators, that's, the rest of us here, we are doing pretty much everything on our own, right? We may have someone running the camera, but you're like deep into photography and all of that type of stuff. So what's that been like for you so
What
far?
brought you here?
Yeah, why are you here?
Why are you here?
It's good. So we're technically subcontracted. So we're with F5 Productions, Josh Freilich, and we are subcontracted for Media Lodge. Okay. So Media Lodge has done the What's Hot at SHOT for the last however long they've been doing it. So they've switched around a few times, like Iraq veteran 888 or whatever it is. He did it a couple years ago. But it's good. I mean, we've got technically a producer now, which is crazy. We've got meetings with all these brands, which is nuts. I mean, our schedule is a 30-minute meeting every hour.
Yeah.
Or every 30 minutes we switch to a new brand.
Yep.
So we did 15, 16 videos today.
That's crazy.
And our editor is on site doing day of edits. We were releasing 9, I think, today. Something like that. And these are all short form, What's Hot at SHOT stuff. But it's sweet. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So want to start getting into a little bit of the free form. We're just going to whoever wants to talk and do whatever. But I wanted to start with Rodrigo. Like you said, this is your first.
Yeah,
you said
this is
you're
my first.
Yep. Get the mic a little bit closer into the.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. You're still pretty new. I mean, you've been around for about a year on YouTube. What was some of the things that you noticed as being this your first time, something that kind of overwhelmed you? What was it that overwhelmed you? What was the cool things that you saw? Those types of things.
So I think at the beginning, I thought that the only way I would be able to go to SHOT Show was if I was gonna come in through the ranch, right, with John Blanchke, because I didn't know that since my channel's pretty small, it's only got 1,800 subscribers.
Yep.
I thought, there's no way that I can get accepted. And then Jacob Fox, Gun Quality Enforcement, said, he said, hey, just go as media. You can get in as media. And he said, he gave me all the instructions. He just said, hey, just make sure you put your name as the owner in the title, right, in your synopsis. Mm-hmm. And then he gave me all the instructions, and I submitted that to SHOT Show. And within hours, I had a reply, and it said, hey, you're in. And I got the little barcode.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the hell? Because this whole time I had been bugging John to get me on the payroll at the ranch to set up an email so that I could come in as a employee of the ranch. So then I had to send him a text like a month later, like, hey, I don't need you to help me anymore. I can do it on my own. I can go. And so to me, that was like one of the things that I didn't realize that I could, with my small channel, that I could get into SHOT Show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was like? Obviously, you did something that I never did. My first year, I was completely lost. I didn't know anybody or nothing like that, and I felt like I had to immediately jump into interviews. But that's something that you didn't do today. You just kind of walked around. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do today was just take in. It's my first event, so I just wanted to take everything in, walk around, see. I have a list of people that I want to see, companies that I want to go look at their products, but I still have 3 days to do that. Mm-hmm. And so with, like I said, my channel being so small, I'm not going to get those crazy numbers, even if I drop something the day of. So to me, I'm just going to pick my moments and then go and do the videos that I want to do, take my time, and just do the videos that I'm interested in doing.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. What about you, Joe? First time, I know you're probably a little bit overwhelmed as well.
Very overwhelmed, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way bigger than you expected?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing YouTube since 2016, but, retail jobs and other things involved, it gets tough to fly out halfway across the country. But the one thing that I think is interesting, we were talking about it on the way here, is you really don't see, when you're watching all these videos, the back end of SHOT Show, the parking garage, the trying to find your way through the expo centers and things. And really, I mean, it is overwhelmingly large. Like it's kind of hard to put into words how big this event is. I think it's actually, I was reading, one of the biggest events that the Venetian has to offer for expos. And I mean, I would believe it. I haven't seen that many people in one area in a very long time. So
it's been interesting since I've been here. It used to be just in the sands.
Yeah.
You got basically three stories. And now they've spilled over into the Caesars Forum, which is crazy. And then they've spilled outside of the main area on level 2, which is where like a lot of the big wigs and stuff like that is. So it's interesting to see how it's grown, and changed as well. Not to mention when I first started coming, and it's probably the same with Kyle. PSA was down in the basement. Down in the dungeon. And so the first 2 years I went straight to PSA and, interviewed, I guess, Adam at the time. Is it Adam, right? Big tall dude?
It must have been. And also we won't mention the MP5.
Yeah.
Oof. That did not age well.
No, it didn't age well, no at all. But, and then to see them move up into the upstairs, and then they're like
now one of the biggest booths.
Exactly, they're one of the biggest booths. They're rubbing. Last year they were rubbing elbows with Aero Precision. Was right next door. It's crazy. So it's really cool to see kind of how that's evolved over the last few years too. So what about you, Kyle? As a veteran, you've done this several times.
Yep.
So what are some of the things that you saw that you have been excited for, or whatever? Just your first day experience so far.
Well, origin story, really. Let's go back to the beginning here. So when I first started going to SHOT Show, I was kind of like Rodrigo. I was just 5,000 subscribers, whatever it was, right? I was like a small channel, and I remember getting an email like, would you like to attend SHOT Show? And I was like, what's a SHOT Show? Do we do so? What is it? What's there? And I just remember being like, I'm too small for that. No one cares, right? So I ended up going, and there's a whole list of things you do, and you go and apply, and you get in there, you get this badge. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, wow, media. Like, okay, I'm just filming on my phone, but all right. And it's just great. It's just a fun time. We've been going like 5 years now. The first year, I think, brought the wife. We had no idea what we were doing. She was like my cameraman, really, at the time. And with that, we were talking about earlier with like mic setup, camera setup. We just didn't know what would work. And it's not only hard to find stuff, but the deafening noise of this show.
Oh, yeah.
And the lighting and the noise combined make an awful camera experience. Unless you get the proper equipment, maybe bring your own lighting, good mics that are real close to someone's face. And we were talking about going to PSA, and that booth is so hopping with their voting system that you have people on the left and right of you when you're trying to talk to someone, and everyone's just like shouting in your ear because they're excited about the thing next to you. So,
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
But yeah, all the booths are like that. I had a blast today. I did film a few videos, so expect to see that. Some shorts and reels and all that good stuff too as well. But there's still cool things coming out. A lot of are things that maybe are older, like an HK53 kind of deal that you can't usually get, and they're making reproductions of those. That stuff is still kind of exciting, right?
Yep. So Matt, you're behind the camera all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So you're where
starting to be in front of the camera too, which is fun.
Yeah.
It's good times.
But as it stands, like for this year, the other four of us here, we're always in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So do you feel that it's less stressful for you, or are you just as stressed out and high paced as everybody else?
Yeah, I would. It's rough. Like, so we got in at 8:30. Like I said, every 30 minutes we have a new interview that we're doing. We're running cards back and forth. We're charging stuff. Like we did. Our editor sat down and did a lot of testing for audio, and so we've got a shotgun mic connected to a field recorder. We've got a lav that's recording into a DJI mic. We've got a camera mic that's on a shotgun. Like all this stuff. So we're able to isolate a lot of the noise out, which is great. Lighting, same thing. We have external lighting that we use on the gimbal. I mean, gimbal weighs 20 pounds, something like that. But it's like, all right, you go in, you find the person you're trying to interview. If they're not there, then I just go off, do B-roll, all that good stuff. Try to figure out what shot you want to get. Try to make sure that our editor's going to have enough B-roll. So if somebody has a lot of ums and ahs and stuff like that, you're cutting to something else. Then you look at range day and you're like, all right, we know the brands that we're going to do. We need to get certain guns. We need to get people shooting those guns. We need to cut that into the interviews when we can, if they talk about it. So, I mean, the logistics behind all this stuff is nuts. Yeah. It's nuts.
What has been the highlight for you for day one? What would you say was day like,
one.
If you could leave with one thing that you saw today, what would it be?
It's funny, because we've been to 15, 20 vendors already, something like that. There hasn't been anything crazy. Like at the ones that we have seen, we've still got another 40-something vendors to go to. Nothing crazy yet, honestly. I think, this was kind of the last SHOT Show I went to too, which was 2 years ago. I forgot when we did this 2 years ago. There wasn't a ton of stuff like that were nuts. You'll see a lot of like, this is we're talking about that today, revolutionary or game changing or Glock killer or something like that.
Right,
people are starting to listen to their fans and starting to listen to the people who are buying stuff from them and actually making changes, which is cool. I think that's the biggest thing, is seeing companies saying, hey, the people who are spending their hard-earned money for this stuff want to see a little bit of changes, want to see something different, and they're making those changes, which is pretty neat. That's cool to see.
Okay. I know that I've already beat this horse to death already. I've already talked to like both of you guys about it, or Kyle knows about it. Rodrigo, everybody knows about it here. But one thing that really, really impressed me, caused me to take a pause and take a step back, is no size hair. There's a company called 1791 that does leather holsters, and all of a sudden they come out with AR and AK handguards with this new material, this new proprietary material that's lighter than aluminum, but just as durable, if not more durable than aluminum. And I think that if they can really hit the sweet spot with the pricing on it, they're really going to see a huge change in the AR, specifically the AR market, because of just how light it is. A BCM, just a standard length BCM handguard, I think it's like 13-inch handguard, is like 1 pound. It was like 1 pound 6 ounces, and then their handguard, same length, is like 9 ounces. It's like crazy light. They
like
had
half as much.
Yeah. And then they had the barrel nut compared to their barrel nut, and it's again half as light.
Easily. It was like featherweight.
Yeah,
was crazy.
it's
I was
ridiculous.
Like, that's barrel nut, and they said it's really strong though.
Yeah.
What was it, like 30% or something?
Yeah, something like that. So I'm excited to see what happens with that, and then like I said, to see that coming from 1791 gun leather was just mind blowing.
It's not made of leather.
It's not made of leather. No, that's not. So PSA, I know that everybody likes the dunk on PSA, but they're just crushing it. I mean, all the different stuff that I know, Matt. You're just
staring daggers at you.
Yeah, you're like right through my soul.
No, their innovation's great. Like we talked about this last time. Like they are the ones that are choosing the firearms that everybody wants.
Yep.
They want to bring them back. Mm-hmm. Do it right. Awesome.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Did you end up going to PSA at all today?
I haven't yet.
Not yet?
No.
So H&R, they have an FAL.
Yeah, I saw something about it. I haven't seen it in person.
Yep.
But I'm kind of excited about that.
So I'm excited about it. It's actually a clone of the T48, which was the version of the FAL that was used in the U.S. trials against the M14 and the AR-10.
Okay.
And so it has a cutout for top loading through stripper clips.
That's all the rage these days is the stripper clips.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Did you go best with the Kel-Tec?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, so not to go super off topic, but like that makes sense for band states. Mm-hmm. Like it really does.
Yeah.
Like, and Hammer's their marketing guy, awesome dude. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense for band states. Like if I was in a band state right now, that'd be my first gun that I'd purchase. 'Cause I mean, you get 20 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. Yeah. It circumvents the law for magazine capacity.
And people laughed at it. They're like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen." And it's like, you know why they're doing it, don't you? Like that's pretty based in my book, if I'm being honest.
And I went and shot it. I shot it, and it's. I mean, the trigger is
reset is long.
Yes, exactly. Very, very long reset. It's a Kel-Tec trigger.
Yeah.
But the disassembly of it, I was just like, this is remarkable. So I don't know. What did you see, Joe? Did you get a chance to go over to Kel-Tec, or
I have not gone over to Kel-Tec. We had quite a few pre-set up interviews today, so really most of the day was just like sprinting to each booth to try to find it. So that was kind of trying to find those, but I agree. I didn't see anything yet that kind of jumped out as just wow. I am somewhat of a psychopath, so the HK51 clone by MKE, the short 8-inch 308, was very exciting for me.
You did stop by Sentry then?
I did, yes. And, the SD would be cool, and I think it is pretty cool, but not having the ported barrel was a huge bummer for me. I think they're missing the mark a little bit with that. But having another company being brave enough to do an HK51 clone was really cool to see, because that's just not a gun to get easily able to run reliably from the manufacturing process. So that was interesting. That's one that jumped out that I'm like, I'm gonna buy that. But yeah, everything else was kind of what I anticipated being there. I'll say it was nothing that really jumped out. I mean, my career aside of YouTube is working in the gun industry and retail shops and other things. So being behind a gun counter, you're seeing a lot of this stuff generally throughout the year pop out anyways. So it takes a lot to really make me go, wow, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And we've all been around for a long time. I know, Rodrigo, you've got one heck of a collection, and you've been collecting for a long time, you know?
I have.
Yeah, so was as far as like what you're looking forward to for the rest of the week, was there something specific that you want to get into?
So for today, I did want to bring back up that 1791, the Zenical clone. That one had an MSRP of $250.
Yep.
So $250 for the Zenical clone. And,
Yep.
And then also I was pretty interested in that MKE 53. That one that piqued my interest.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Century is definitely going to be somebody that I swing by and check out tomorrow as well. But also, there's so many people that you got to swing. I get this list. I mean, of not only people that I'm trying to see, but I'm also trying to help out Jacob. You know, so I still have all of that to try to cover in 2 days. You know, so one of the companies that Kyle and I have been talking about is Zenith.
Yeah.
They've got their new roller delayed ZF556, and they're going to have it in 556, 300 blackout, and 762 by 39. And it's a roller delayed system, basically a beefed up version of the MP5.
Yeah.
But they did release it last year, but what they've done differently this year is they've swapped out the lower to be more AR friendly, more AR controls instead of the MP5 style.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. And so there's that roller gun.
And it shot great. Shot it at the range day.
Yeah, it did shoot.
300 blackout.
Yep. 300 blackout. Shot great, suppressed well. There's another roller delayed. I guess the HK 53s. Yep. Those are next. So, you know, we're starting to see a lot more roller delayed options out there too. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what happens from there.
People like shooting those though, and they like the follow-up shots are easier, good recoil. Like all the roller delays are so much fun. I have AP5P. It's been great.
Yep. You got the slap.
Yep. You get the slap.
Which is interesting too, because it's last round hold open, so you can drop it using like the paddle, or you can use the slap. So
Interesting.
yeah, you can go either way.
And those are true rock and lock mags too.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're gonna be all made by MKE, translucent, that kind of greenish tan hue, and they lock together a coupling there. It's very cool.
Yep. So again, I'm excited to see what pans out for the rest of the week. Surprisingly, I don't know. I'm a big AK guy, but I'm not seeing very much AK stuff going on.
I don't know that you're going to, with just the state of ammunition as a whole. It's a big issue.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing prices definitely come down, but I'm picking up 5.56 cheaper than I'm picking up 7.62 by 39, and that's a sad day. I'm a huge AK guy. Everyone that's watched my channel knows that, and there hasn't been an AK on my channel in quite a while. It's very expensive to do videos right now on AKs, and I think that speaks worlds with just the regular consumer market with AKs right now, and companies know it. You know, I think everyone was hoping for an American steel case variation of the ammunition to be coming out, and when it did, it's great, but the price was kind of like a little bit of a swing and a miss for what people were anticipating.
Yeah, and I was kind of a little bit let down. I've got well, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically it's the Riley Defense Rack 47. You know, they're 7.62 by 39, quote unquote, crink. Well, I had some issues with it, so I sent it back into them. It turned out that there was actually no issues whatsoever, which is great to hear. But they called me and was like, "Why is it so rusty?" And I was like, "I mean, I don't. What do you mean?" And I was like, "I mean, I did notice some rust." And they're like, "Well, you didn't leave it outside or anything?" And I was like, "No. I don't never do anything like that." And they're like, "Well, what kind of ammo did you run?" And I was like, "I ran the Tela ammo."
I've heard that's been majorly corrosive, man, even though it says not corrosive.
It says not corrosive on it, but sure enough, man, there's rust all over the gas block. There's rust on the carrier and the bolt.
Azerbaijan, you know, I mean, trustworthy.
Too. That was like replacing the old Russian stuff.
Yeah.
It really was.
It was literally Tela was replacing Tula, you know.
Tula, yeah.
So,
Tula. They must have done that on purpose.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, which is not necessarily a bad thing as long as you know how to do it. But if you're advertising that it's non-corrosive and then it starts to rust up,
we did an AK class at F5 Firearms or F5 range, and I gave Josh a couple thousand rounds like that for people to shoot. I just had it laying around. He was giving me something else for it, and he texted me like 2 weeks later, and he's like, "Dude, you didn't tell me like I needed to clean my firearms after shooting." He's like, "My Galil is trashed," and I was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't know it's not corrosive. It said it wasn't corrosive."
Yeah,
obviously it is. So
yeah, it's messed up. But at the very least, it's an option. You just have to be forewarned about that. You know, I heard that it was more of an issue with the 545 stuff than it was the 760 by 39. So,
I also was thinking that corrosive AK ammo. This isn't a Mosin. This isn't a bolt face that's like that. There's a lot of stuff to like clean.
Yeah.
After being hit with corrosive like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, realistically, all you really need to do is just take it outside and turn on your garden hose. But then you got to dry everything. You know?
Water
What was the
can
old
do
Windex thing or something? Ammonia stuff. Yeah.
Water's great. Me and my very good buddy who's actually helping me out with the videography behind me there, we were doing a lot of tests. He was giving me some tricks that he saw in regards to, and I'm going to mess this up because I can't remember it, but it was shooting standard ammunition after the corrosive ammunition, but whatever the combination was there, it was actually doing a really good job. He got months shooting corrosive without cleaning with no major issues doing that trick. Apparently, it's a trick that a lot of the Russian military uses time in combat and other things where you can't be cleaning, immediately, and it seems to work okay.
That's good.
I can attest to that because Jacob got a case of that Tela ammo in 545 by 39, and he didn't have anything to shoot it out of. So he said, he reached out to me and he goes, "Hey, do you want some of this ammo?" So he sent me like 300 rounds, and I put it through my Galil, and then right afterwards I shot like another 100 rounds of like Wolf, no issues.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So it's unfortunate to see that for us who are AK connoisseurs, I mean,
I think everybody would be fine if it just said corrosive.
Yeah.
Then everyone kind of knows what they're getting into and understands the price. It's really important for folks that aren't into the weird comm block crevices of the world because you can kind of you're able to just understand. You're able to understand what to do. But for a standard person that just picked up their first Zastava and they see that ammunition and says non-corrosive, they're going to shoot it, and it's probably going to be, weeks before any sort of cleaning, and they're going to have major issues, major rusting problems.
100%.
Yeah.
So Kyle, what's on your schedule for tomorrow?
Well, I like the idea of checking out Zenith. We got to enjoy shooting them at the range, so see what they got going on with that. I think I might go by the 1791 again. I know we talked with them a little bit, but I kind of want to look closer at that AK stuff. And they had a couple of samples on rifles too.
Yes, they did.
Which I know you were talking with them doing a video, so I was like, I'll come back maybe. So I might do that. Beretta, we talked to them today.
Yep.
I want to kind of see what is new with them. I know they have some 982 stuff they're working on. I think that'd be good to kind of just get a feel for that. Plus, maybe some of their hunting stuff, right? We saw some new rifles. We saw. Yep. I'm sure they have some new shotguns around, floating around somewhere.
Yep. Seiko bolts.
Seiko bolts. Yep. So it'd be good to kind of get a hold of them.
Is it Seiko or Sako?
Seiko.
Yep.
Seiko. Sako. I don't know. Probably check out the basement. Get kind of creeped out down there, the usual.
Yep.
Have you guys looked at Stealth Arms at all?
I saw them at Range Day, but I haven't been back over to see them. But they have their fire control unit. Is that what you're?
Platypus.
Oh, the Platypus.
2011.
Yeah. So you're
Definitely.
carrying one.
I am
right
carrying
now.
one.
Yeah,
That's why I want to. I will attest to how good that is.
So early last year, I was going to buy one because Tufu says like, oh, you need to get one of these.
Yep, he's got one too.
Yep. And I was going to buy one, and then I went to the website, and it was like a 6-week lead time, and I'm like,
way longer now.
Yeah, I know.
Popular.
I know. So
way
now
longer.
at first I was like, man, I don't want to wait 6 weeks for something, even though I waited 11 months for a can, right? But then now it's like probably several months.
I think it's like 5 months.
Yeah.
But they drop standard. They have like standard sizes, standard stuff that they drop them pre-made. That's one that I got every week and a half, something like that.
Have you been able to compare it with Staccato's new Glock mag?
Yeah, so we shot that yesterday,
okay.
and it's nice. Like, it's super nice. I've got a Staccato P, and then also the Platypus. Out of the box, the Platypus has a better trigger. I would say fit and finish is probably better, if I'm being honest.
Really?
My only complaint is going to be it's aluminum. The frame, everything's aluminum on it. They're going to be dropping a steel frame, I think, this year, which is pretty cool. But the Cerakote, everything's Cerakoted. So Cerakote comes off relatively easily, which is a bummer. But it's a phenomenal pistol.
Yeah.
Like,
So
really nice pistol.
You said that you shot this new Staccato yesterday?
Yeah.
So you went to the Prairie Fire range yesterday?
Yeah, we went to both.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, see, that's what I told we should have done, Mark.
It was a lot. But the problem was a lot of brands wrapped up early at Prairie Fire.
Oh, okay.
So like Smith & Wesson was gone. A couple other ones were gone. They were wrapping up. We got there about 1-ish.
Really?
Yeah, so we left. We did like 3-4 hours in the morning and then took off.
So how long did it take you to get from the industry day, SHOT Show range day, to out to Prairie Fire? I heard
Hour and 10.
Yeah, I heard
something
it was
like
a
that.
trek.
Wow.
It's nice. If you've never been to Prairie Fire, so we do media for, we used to do media for them. They now switched to, they just changed their name like yesterday. So now it's Staccato Nevada or something like that. Like it's another Staccato name one.
Okay.
But it's huge. Like it's an amazing facility.
Yeah, they had like run and gun lanes and stuff that you could do.
Mile long shot. When we were out there doing media, I got to do a mile long shot out there, which is sick.
That's cool.
338 Lapua.
Yeah.
But no, it was nice. I mean, it's a good range.
But you, just to circle back. To do the circle back Saki here. You did shoot the new Staccato.
Austin shot the new one.
Okay.
I shot the Compt, I think XC.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he loved it. I mean, he's got a C2. Our editor's got a C2.
Okay.
Josh is sponsored by Staccato. He runs Staccatos for all of his competition stuff. But they're nice. I mean, I think it's a market that, like, Stealth Arms kind of started the Glock mag type thing. And I mean, you can't find a cheaper, more reliable mag than a Glock mag.
Yeah, sure.
Like, if 2311s obviously run Sig mags. No, is it Sig mags?
2311.
Checkmate, which is maybe.
Yeah,
No,
the
Sig-
checkmate.
Sig mags.
Yeah, checkmate.
So they're running those. Again, reliable mag is fine, but like I don't want to buy a $70 Staccato mag. Like
exactly.
you're killing me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just bought 20-something Glock 45 mags, and it's like that's nothing compared to 20-something.
So
Staccato
with that being said, you're kind of I would say probably out of the five of us sitting here, you're probably more of a 2311 connoisseur at this point.
It's weird, I've carried a Glock for 14 years, and it's always been a Glock 19, Glock 43, Glock 19X.
Yep.
Like all of those.
So let me ask your opinion then.
Sure.
You've got the Platypus, you've shot the Staccato, you've got Glock Staccato and Platypus now are Glock feeding.
Yeah.
Let me give you your thoughts about OA Defense.
Yeah.
With them running P320 mags.
Yep. That's the 2311.
Yeah.
P320.
Yeah. So I've done a couple of videos on them. I like them.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're. I don't want to say that they're better than Staccato. I don't want to say they're better than the Platypus. They're just different.
They are completely different.
Yeah, and they're still running at 70 action.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know if you've had a chance to mess with them at all or not.
So we've messed with them. So we also do media for them. We do all
Okay.
their social media stuff. They awesome dudes.
Yeah.
Like all former special forces guys. Like we had our team go down there, do stuff in the swamps with them, and go around in boats and in water. I mean, it was sweet. It's a really nice 2311.
Yeah. I found that I've enjoyed shooting it.
It's great. They also listen to the people who buy them and are making some changes, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
It's nice. I mean, I would take either.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like I love the innovation of, like we said earlier, of companies that do listen. Like there's a ton of companies that don't, and like they just don't care. They're going to continue to produce the stuff they want to produce, and that's fine. But like Tim from Platypus or Stealth Arms was like, hey, we want to do this. So they did it. They sent stuff out to people. They asked people questions, and then they started changing stuff. Same thing with OA. OA, I think don't quote me on this. I don't remember. We got a meeting with them tomorrow. I think they're doing a steel frame as well, which is awesome, which everybody's asking for. So, yeah, they're all three fantastic options. Yep. And I'm partial, like I said, partial to Glock mags. But, if you've got two that take Glock mags, if you're a Glock guy, if you got SIG mags, whatever, that's the name of the game right now.
I mean, it is.
Like, it really is.
And pulling away from Staccato in the fact that you now are not spending $70+ on a magazine, on a magazine.
I mean, you look at, and again, I'm kind of going off on Stealth Arms just because I really like the Platypus.
Yeah,
like I really do. There is no better website than Stealth Arms, and I'll go to war on that one. They are, it's phenomenal. Their designer is incredible.
Now, let me ask you this: when you got your Platypus, how many magazines did it come with?
I think 2.
Okay.
2 Glock 17 mags. Yeah.
So here's the crazy thing about OA Defense is when you purchase OA Defense, not only are you getting a really nice case from, thank you. Man, who is it that does those really, really nice cases? I can't think of their name.
Savior?
Yeah, Savior. Yeah. Not only are you getting a Savior case, you're also getting 5 magazines.
It's 5. Dang, I thought it was 4.
5. Now, they're P320 magazines, right? Yeah. Okay, so, I'll just go get some more. But still, straight out of the box, you're getting 5 magazines. Yeah.
How it should be.
Amazing.
It should be. It really should. I mean, you're going to buy them anyway.
Yeah. Now, with the Platypus, you've got Glock mags, so those are pretty inexpensive. Have you ran any of the Magpul mags?
Yeah, so I ran P mags. I think I've only have one. Ran that, it's fine.
Yeah,
no issues.
No issues.
I did have issues with the P mag in my Glock. Haven't had issues with the P mag in my Platypus, which is kind of weird. But
now, is there any concern with the metal magazine release on the polymer mags?
That was my first thought. Haven't seen it in any research. I've only put a couple of rounds through it so far.
Sure. Yeah.
But I forgot who's coming out with the metal Glock mags. Isn't somebody coming out with that this year?
Is it?
Well, there's been some that I have.
Shield?
Is it Shield?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's been some that's already been on the market because I know that Sage Dynamics, when he did his Platypus review, he had some of them, and he said they're kind of finicky.
Interesting. So, and that's why it's like you spend $30.
Yeah.
Get 45 mag and run it till it dies and then buy another one. Yeah.
So all right. Well, there's our session on the 2011, 2311.
Oh, I got one more thing for it though. If you look at them, Staccato and Platypus have a similar grip, with the Platypus not only being available in cotton candy, but having finger grooves a little bit, right? But if you look at the OA, right, the OA Defense, that thing is super ergo.
It is.
It's a little chunkier, fills your hand.
Yep.
It's ergonomic. It just looks like, and it shoots and feels different. I shot some.
It does not have a grip safety.
No grip safety.
So if that's the thing for you,
right?
It kind of looks like a taser, though.
It really does. It does.
Yeah.
The weird thing about the Staccato now, not weird. It's a good thing. It's got the block in it, so you drop it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Hammer block, whatever it's called. But that kicks up the trigger. So it's like a 4.5 pound trigger or something like that.
Right.
You can get a competition trigger in a Platypus straight from the factory at like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, something like that. So I don't know. Great. I love seeing companies that listen. It's fantastic.
All right. Anyway. What about you, Joe? What are you getting into tomorrow?
Tomorrow I have Midwest Industries, PSA, a few other meetings that I can't remember but are on my calendar. I'm going to go ahead and hope I can remember those. But no, I think it was really intimidated going in today just for the first meeting, but what's helpful is having them scheduled ahead of time because you're not really cold calling the booth like I've done before. But no, nothing really immediately jumping out tomorrow that's like something major that I'm doing. I completely agree, though. I love that companies that are listening to the market is huge to see. And I think Staccato is going to have to start reducing the price a little bit if they're going to want to stay competitive. For a long time, they could just do that because they were the only 2011, but now that there are so many other players on the market, people are just kind of realizing, like, okay, if company X is putting out this gun for $1,000 and it's not quite the fit and finish, but it's very, very close, what am I really paying for here when it comes to these guns? So I think it's creating a lot of competition in the 2011 market. For me, I'm just quite the boomer, and I carry a 1911 still, Series 70. So it just it works out. But I've shot a lot of 2011s. I really like them. I just haven't jumped on actually owning one yet, but maybe in the future. You never know. The Prodigy is also, it's another prime example of a company that just is like, okay, people like the 2011, so we're going to come out with something cheaper, more affordable, and it's excellent. Yeah, well, for sure.
And that's the thing with the Prodigy is, I'm not necessarily a Springfield fan for a number of different reasons, but that's not the point. 2 years ago, I stopped in to the Springfield booth. And it was like, you know what? I'm not going to film anything. I'm just going to test out the Prodigy. And naturally, it is a cherry-picked, like, refined pistol and everything. And I shot that, and it felt like it was like a cheat code.
Yeah.
At like 10, 15 yards in their bay, I could not miss, Yeah. I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
And say what you want about Springfield, because I'm right there with you. As a company itself, not a fan, to put it blatantly.
Yep.
But when it comes to 1911s in particular, they can do a 1911 very good.
Yep.
My carry gun is a Springfield TRP operator, the full rail, and that I would consider the holy grail of manufactured 1911s that are currently being produced.
Yep. Very famous.
Yeah, that's just top of the line.
Yep. So and I just I've ran the Prodigy in competition. I ran it at Kalashnikon just this past May, and it did outstanding. Now, the downside to the Prodigy that I hadn't noticed with like the OA Defense 2311, I don't know about the Platypus. I'll have to defer to Matt, but I found that I needed to like clean the Prodigy about every 250
You're going to run into that with most 2011s, which is what people need to understand. These guns were designed for primarily competition use.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that the original 1911 was designed with looser tolerances to be able to just run. And I have I have a World War I Colt that runs just fine, 100 and something years later.
Yeah, right.
And, it's very loose. It has open tolerances, and it will run and run and run. But the tighter you get the tolerances, the more that you're going to have to clean it, maintain it. It is what it is.
Yeah. So we've got Matt's Platypus right here, and there is no movement in that slide where it meets up with the frame, and it just glides right across that frame. It's really, really nice. So you can hear
ASMR
it.
there. There you go.
Yeah. So everything, the controls feel good. They've got the texturing on the pistol grip is accentuated in the front and rear, where it's a little bit more subdued along the sides, but it's really high. So your support hand, I'm sorry, but it's a little subdued, but it's high enough that your support hand gets locked in. And
I love the all metal frame in that too. If I'm going for a 2011, it would be an all steel frame gun for sure.
Tell you what, I'm definitely going to have to go over to see these guys tomorrow.
That was my biggest gripe with staccatos for the price, is half the gun is polymer. It's a great gun. They shoot so well, but I'm looking at $3,000, $3,100. I'm like, there's just no way the manufacturing is getting it to that price.
Yeah, and that trigger, man, that trigger is just remarkable.
Which one is this? Is this the crowd pleaser?
That is, yep, that's the crowd pleaser.
Actually, I'm looking at the site right now. The Wolverine-looking one actually comes with claws on the under Picatinny.
Yeah, you can. I mean, and that's the. I don't know. We've been on the Platypus forever, but like, you can fully customize down to like the smallest, the trigger color, the pin color, like all this stuff. And
the different types of profile on the trigger.
On the trigger,
flat face, curved, whatever,
anything. And you're looking. I mean, you can go as high as you want, but you're looking at $2,200.
Yeah, I mean, the one that Kyle has up on his computer right now is sub 18. You know,
Yeah, I paid $18.75 for that.
Yeah,
Is that before customization, or does it go up from there? I guess.
So they start at $1,400.
Yeah.
And that's bare bones, whatever. You can get, like, that is their crowd pleaser. It was $18.75, I think is what it was. But you can just, I mean, everything you want to change on it. You can choose trigger weight immediately out of the box. Like, you can do competition trigger 2.5 pounds, something like that. That's 3.5. But yeah, I was super impressed. Like, and I'm not a huge pistol guy. Like, I'm not a competitor.
I mean, pistols suck. Rifles are awesome.
Getting them grand.
That thing, like I said, I'm not a competitor and I am not a great shooter. But I was hitting everything I shot with that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Yeah. So that's obviously definitely something I'm going to need to take a look at for the remaining part of this week. Anyway. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So what else? What else is going on for you guys this week? I mean, obviously we've got parties. You got parties to go to. I know you guys. Joe, are you?
We had a few like working in the industry full time and then doing YouTube part time. My regular job had some meetings and stuff set up, so I'm trying to like balance the two. We did have some parties that we were invited to this evening, but I wanted to come to the podcast.
Man, that means
instead.
a lot, man.
So but no, we're not. I don't know how much networking really happens at these parties, but I feel like it's a fine line between a good, networking and all of a sudden a cry party that, that doesn't end too well. Man. So,
I'm on a group DM on Twitter, and everyone, just about everybody on that group DM is like, hey man, I'll see you guys at the cry party. And I'm like, how do you guys get invited to the cry party? I mean,
you're asked to go to the cry party.
Pretty
basically.
much, yeah.
That's not, you don't just like go to the cry party.
No, you don't. I've got guns.com tomorrow night, which is always a good time. There's always some pretty good characters there. Last year, we got stuck in the elevator with Terran Tactical.
Yep.
His entourage.
Yeah,
so precious.
Yeah, that was interesting. So, we got Rodrigo. We got you. You're going to be tagging along with us as well. So I'm excited to see your opinions about like the cry parties and some of the after party stuff that we're going to be doing. So that'd be a lot of fun.
For tomorrow, what I have lined up is I want to go see HK 556, the new rifle they got.
Yep.
I also want to go see the FN 300 Blackout, the 15, the smaller one.
Okay.
And then I want to see if B&T is gonna bring out that lower, the 550 lower. So.
I seem to think that yesterday when I stopped by and talked to them at Range Day that they have something that they're releasing at SHOT Show that was not at the range. They do have some really cool new suppressors that are, man, it's like titanium. It's a titanium housing, and then
printed.
Yes. Yeah. And then the internal blast baffle is the Inconel, and then 3D printed internals as well. So, and that's something that's going to be huge this year because Zastava, they're doing their suppressor, which will be something very, very interesting. That's probably going to be a big push for me is suppressors this year.
I was surprised because I did go to Zastava and that suppressor was really light. Yeah. It was super light.
Yep. Yeah. So I got a good video with Ronco, and
now that times are dropping down, the suppressor market is booming. Yep. It's insane.
Well,
right now.
And thanks to you, Joe,
Yeah.
I now have freaking a rugged Obsidian 9.
Ah, okay.
I've got a rugged Obsidian 45 on order.
Okay, all right.
So, and then
I did get pretty heavy into the suppressor reviews there
you did,
for quite a while. Yeah.
Anechoic.
Yep.
That's another.
I've seen theirs.
Yep. Their 22 can is like 2.8 ounces.
Yeah.
And then their, yes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Their X30, which is their multi-caliber rated 30 cal can, is something like 8 or 9 ounces without your interface.
Yep.
And then if you take like a chemo adapter from Dead Air, then that's going to increase it a little bit, but it's still lighter than the Sandman.
Yeah.
You know? So, and it's titanium, so a lot of people have concerns about titanium and being flashy.
Yeah.
Sparky.
Yeah, it really depends on the internal design of the can.
Yep.
That totally plays a role in flash signature. I have some of the Tyon cans, and those surprisingly do a good job with flash reduction and really just overall great cans. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I also had the cheat code for suppressors. I worked at an FFL and could get conjugals with the review cans. So, I mean, I think out of like, Jesus, I want to say I did like over 20 suppressor reviews. I kept a good bit of those personally, but a lot of them just kind of dispersed after the review a little bit, you know. But that's super helpful to get, suppressors in, because before the eForm system, that was really the only way to, like, this for content creators, the suppressor world was, I want to say, untapped for reviews, because most people didn't have that ability to get them in and immediately review them. You had to wait for your Form 4 to get approved, to be months. So it was really appealing to companies that they were like, oh, you're able to do a review next week. Yeah, for sure. Yep. So it just kind of was a win-win. I was able to get a lot more information out on cans.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm excited to, one of the videos that I have on deck is I've got 3 different 30 cal cans that I'm going to kind of compare, because you have the Sandman S, you have Putnik, and then the Anechoic X30. They're all 3 different styles of cans. They give obviously 3 different types of vibe, and allows you to have something different depending on what you wanted to use. I mean, if you're a hunter, obviously the Anechoic X30 might be a good idea, because it's going to be super light. Yeah, and especially for me, right now is like in the thick of coyote season. So lugging a precision rifle into the field with a tripod, that beats you down. Because you're lugging. And so if you can lighten things up with a lighter suppressor, that's great.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about that, to see how that works. Zastava said that they're going to send me one of their cans, so we'll see how that goes.
That one's cool. And
I really am excited about that. And
Zastava's been like just really knocking it out of the park with a lot of their stuff.
They're also going to bring in like the M70B parts kits from Serbia. Underfolder, and then looking at Rodrigo, because I know he knows all of it, but the
M70 AB2s.
Yeah, AB2s. Yeah. So the fixed stock and the underfolders, they have these kits now that they're bringing into the United States. They're all Milsurp kits from Serbia, and they're going to have trench art. Well, not all of them, but some of them will have like trench art handguards and furniture sets and stuff
Very
like that.
cool.
It's really really cool too.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of a good run through of day one, you know. So,
before we get off suppressors,
I
will say I just looked it up on data point, because actually in 2021 there's only 2.66 million suppressors in the U.S., which I've heard this before. Not only that, but just a few years later, almost doubled to 4.86 million.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which makes sense, because it's getting shorter. It's really not a bad process, especially now with the more electronic options that people can get to.
The e-forms.
E-forms and all that. And like all the silent shop kiosks and all that. My local shop has their own kiosk now. Does its own virtual stuff, like electronic fingerprints and everything.
The best thing to do is find a shop that goes direct. The shop that I work at part-time, we have no silencer shop affiliation. We just have a direct line to the ATF, and that's absolutely the fastest route you're going to get.
And it's so much easier. And then now there's more cans out there, And gun shops used to not really carry cans.
Mm.
And now you have whole glass cases of them, and people are like, oh, what is that? Oh, a can. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, let's do it.
Plus, contact your reps. Like,
Oh, yeah,
100%. I contacted mine after I waited, and it's kind of lame, but I waited for like 3 weeks after everyone was getting them in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, where the heck's my can? So I contacted them, got it 3 days later.
Yeah.
Like, just contact them. You'll get your stuff faster.
Yeah, that happened to me too. So I sat there and waited, and then I was like, man, something's going on. So I contacted the ATF, and they're like, hey, everything's good on our side. We haven't got the NICS check back. Right. So then I had to call the FBI, and the FBI was like, oh, sorry, we just saw your stuff. And then like 2 days later, I had it.
Yep.
Yeah. Usually calling is depending. I mean, Jesus, I used to wait 13 months for each of my cans. Okay, so there's a big difference, now. But usually you have your general timeline, as Matt's saying. Recently, it's been about 2 days to 3 days, which is insane. But the longer it goes, if in the old school days, I'd say over a year, it's time to start calling because something's wrong. Nowadays, if it's been over a month, you probably start time to call.
So I have a buddy that works at the local shop. He has a very common name. Mm-hmm. It's not common, but at the same time, it is common.
Yeah.
And he was waiting on his rugged Obsidian 9.
Yep.
And he went 60 days.
Yeah.
And so then after, like, on the 61st day, you can call the ATF to find out what was going on. And 2 days later, he had his. Yeah. So definitely, like Matt was saying, definitely call. One of the stats, I just throw this out here because I think Curtis from VSO, he did a great job breaking this down. In the first 84 years of the NFA, there were 1.4 million suppressors that were purchased. In the last 18 months, we have purchased 1.6 million.
Sounds about right.
And God bless everybody doing it, you know. But just to put that in perspective, 84 years, there was only 1.4 million. And in 18 months, we've exceeded that, which is amazing.
Even that is bullshit, though.
It is.
Like,
you're right.
It is strictly for protecting your hearing. The only time I've heard anybody getting yeeted with a suppressor is CEO of United Healthcare, which was pretty fairly recent. But
wahoo!
That's good.
It's me, Luigi.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, come on, like let's be real. It's all about control. That's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like shooting unsuppressed now after having suppressors is freaking miserable.
Yeah,
like it's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, for me to be able to go out and hunt coyotes or hunt deer with a suppressor and not have to have hearing protection,
right?
You know, that's just. And I don't have good hearing as it is anywhere anyway. So thank you, Uncle Sam. But at the end of the day, you know, having PPE is right. It's PPE.
Every other, like all the other European countries that you can get guns in, suppressors you can just go buy whenever you want. Yep. Like it's an accessory that they want you to have.
Exactly. They find it uncouth for you to shoot unsuppressed.
You are rude if you shoot unsuppressed.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
You know who's really behind keeping the suppressors down? Hearing aid companies. All the grandpas. They all got them hearing aids from all those rounds of the deer.
Yep.
That is a
storming the
conspiracy
beaches of
theory
Normandy.
I have not heard.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we have the perfect man for the conspiracy.
You in on that too?
Well, no, I do have a conspiracy theory podcast, so you know that is a separate aspect of my life, a very dark, mysterious aspect of my life.
Have you done a Mandalay Bay conspiracy? Because we are here.
We are here. We have not done that. My wonderful wife is the co-host, and she does have a normal life and a normal job. So we have to kind of we have to kind of rein it in with some of the more violent.
She tries to ignore this.
Violent topics. Me and Mark were actually talking about maybe doing some of the more crazy ones in that aspect. But no, it was crazy seeing Mandalay Bay for the first time here. And we have not done an episode on the Vegas shooting yet, but you could do like a whole chapter of episodes on Vegas shooting.
You could base an entire podcast just on that.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah. It's wild for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
People are going over to Trump Tower this week. I saw
Yeah.
a couple of YouTubers going over there taking pictures of the holes at the ceiling still under the car garage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the okay.
The Cyber go boom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The Cybertruck. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I forgot that was in Vegas.
I did.
I
too.
didn't
Trump
realize
Towers-
it was
I
in
did too.
Vegas
Trump
either.
Tower's right here. Crispy, one of the YouTubers, Instagram guy. He goes and he went over there and sure enough got a video, walked under the tower and you can just kind of see the roof is all messed
Risky
up.
Crispy?
Crispy.
Oh,
Crispy.
Crispy. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Not
All right.
risky, yeah.
I completely forgot that was here.
No,
Yeah.
go check it out. We're going to Uber there now, guys.
See you later.
But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just pause right here. We wanted to do a really awesome, kind of first hour of this podcast for our first impressions, especially with the new guys, which is awesome. And then we're going to come back and kind of regroup with who's ever available.
2 days later.
So we just survived the most harrowing lift ride from the Venetian, and man, I feel like that we could do a whole podcast based off of that experience alone.
I think that we could.
Let alone talking about day 3 of SHOT Show. My goodness, it has been quite the ride this week, to say the least.
It has.
So tonight we did part 1 with Matt and Joe and Rodrigo and Kyle and myself. This time we've got Kyle and my cohort Nan, myself. Everybody else has other obligations, which is great for them. And that's kind of the thing that we experience with SHOT Show. You usually meet up with a group of people, and then throughout the week, so many different things pop up, and people just kind of go off and do their own thing. So huge thank you to Matt and Rodrigo and Joe for jumping on the podcast for part 1. But I just wanted to kind of close out the week and talk about what we've seen and some of the things that we're excited to see how 2025 ends up working out. So Nan, let's start with you because you started behind the camera. You've been behind the camera the entire week.
Sure.
This is your first show.
Correct.
Thoughts, opinions, manifestos. What do you got? What has been your impression of the entire week walking into this trade show and not having really any basis prior to that?
I feel like I had a little bit of basis.
A little bit. I mean, you've heard some stories.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I mean, not that TriggerCon is anything even remotely close to this, but it's at least a 1/16th,
You would say 1/16th?
1/32nd, the size.
Maybe 1/64th.
Maybe.
Maybe 3/64th.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure that actually gets divided down into a lower number, but
No, 3 does not go into 64 because 3 goes into 60. And
You
then
should-
63. So then there's a third left
How
over.
do
So
you
if
know
you
that?
want a whole number,
how do you know that?
because it's math.
Pull out the calculator.
Math is hard.
It's just going to give you a
3
decimal.
goes into 64.
No, it doesn't. Not evenly.
Oh, you didn't say that.
These other conversations.
In order to reduce the fraction, it has to go in evenly.
Anyway, so TriggerCon, obviously a lot smaller. This is a lot bigger. You love it bigger. So
Just a medium size.
yeah, okay.
No
But-
more than one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Should we just take a moment and just vent about
Let's download it.
the lift ride?
I think we should.
So Kyle, okay. So
I could start.
Let me just preface this. In order for us to get from the Venetian to our Airbnb, obviously we have to take a lift. Unfortunately, I had reservations for a condo that was somewhat near where we were going to be at, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, that got canceled at the last minute, and we went scrambling to find a new place. We did find a new place, which is a house, but it's like a 30-minute drive from the Venetian to this new Airbnb. So we have to take lifts or Ubers everywhere. they've been smooth up
Yeah.
For the
until.
well, except for my seatbelt that didn't work. But
Well,
other than that,
I mean,
did have a
no one
junker
cares
pick us up.
about the seatbelt. Okay, so but
No
you
one
know,
cares about my
Safety is-
safety.
Yeah, safety. Yuck.
So up until, and then we got the good intel that we don't wait at the Venetian
Yeah.
to get picked up. We go over to the Harrah's rideshare and get picked up there.
Right next door.
It's really, it's a lot easier, and
they're not as congested.
correct. The drivers don't have to wait. So that was some good intel that we found out yesterday. So we tried to do that again today. Kyle graciously, set up the lift.
Was it Lyft or Uber?
It was
This
Lyft.
was Lyft.
Yeah,
We've
was
done this
Lyft.
multiple times, as Marcus said, so it
Yep.
should have been simple.
Should have been simple.
But now we know why it wasn't simple.
Yes, we do.
So
Now we know.
I'm just Kyle. You go. You
Just
talk to us about you ordering the lift and then the phone conversation and all of that.
Well, you order it. We walked across the Harrah's. Harrah's is right next door. Super easy to get to. There's a main entrance to Harrah's with the pin, and Lyft locks in the pins where you need to go. Right? Simple. So
And
easy
then the
enough.
driver then follows the GPS to the pin.
The start, but there's a start and an end. Start Harrah's, end home here. Now, I will say that our pins, our little dot moved around, and apparently she was chasing our dot, but she was a 20-minute Uber ride or Lyft ride away. So I guess she was chasing our dot and went into Venetian, but went to the wrong spot in Venetian anyways. And she said, "Oh, come back to Venetian." She wasn't there. I said, "Well, why don't you come back to Harrah's?" "Oh, I've never been to these casinos before."
Yeah,
What?
she's never been to these. She's never been to these casinos.
And
before.
it's her third day driving, fourth day.
Day driving ever in Lyft, and then there's more details to come about how she actually just moved here, but from a very interesting background.
Yeah. So we get into this this lift, and we're in this car for a matter of minutes, not even probably we're less than 5 minutes, and we're already getting regaled about other customers of hers that are being ferried to either to or from the AVN Awards,
Which is like next week here.
yes, which is the adult video convention.
And there is also the Gavians, evidently, which are a thing.
I think that was just a subcategory
Of the
of
Avians.
the AVNs, that they were like in the gay category. So we got.
Is this a family-friendly show? Before
no,
we discuss,
No, this is not.
Okay, 'cause we're
I mean,
talking-
I'm not going to get into the specifics of what she talked about, because that I don't even want to repeat.
yeah, there was a couple of things that went into one thing. And
Geometry was not geometry.
I had
Yes.
to, it was like a twisty turny thing, and shapes were involved, and math, and
And
Yeah.
shoving two things into one
Yes,
area.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
I
Yes.
thought- yeah.
Exactly.
I thought customers meant riders, but now I'm not so sure.
That's a good point. I took it as writers.
That's
But
our
then-
innocence got the better of us.
Yeah, and then like 3/4 of the way through the lift trip to get to our Airbnb, then we find out that our driver has been an exotic dancer for how many years?
15.
15 years prior to moving to Vegas, which then explains so many different things.
And a website that we discovered.
She does not believe in mental health.
Yes.
That was within the
She
first
doesn't
5
believe in
minutes.
mental wellness.
Yes, that's correct.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Mental, because everybody has issues. That's what she was
Well,
trying to say.
sure, but mental health isn't
But in her opinion, nobody is mentally well, is what she was saying.
correct. But people are. It's the mental health aspect is how we handle ourselves, how we handle our mental illnesses.
She has been sober for 14 or 18 months.
Sure, over a year,
Over a year.
which is congratulations.
Good.
I,
Very well
I made a borderline personality joke, which she then told me that she was borderline personality disorder, which shouldn't have probably made the joke. My bad.
That's
We
okay.
didn't know.
I mean, she was a delight to talk to. It
Yes.
was a lot of fun.
A lot of stories. It was fun.
I
Got
was
real weird, real kinky, real fast.
It did, and I'm over here. I'm a jokester. I'm a prankster, and I'm over here trying to cook, and I'm getting freaking taken out by the knees every single time by Nan. So
Well, don't make jokes about me.
I wasn't making jokes about you.
Some of them were about me.
Well, okay, that's fair.
We're not going to say anything bad about the driver, but I will say that I think if we had let Mark cooked, this would have
spiraled out of control.
probably caused a mental breakdown in her brain.
Yeah.
That's a
And
good
then
point. And she was driving.
We
at the
wanted to
same
be
time.
careful, and the driving level, if we rated it 1 to 5, was probably a 2. I was a little worried about the slamming on the brakes. I don't know if that was actually not her fault.
I don't know.
It was not her fault.
We sure.
I did see that.
That was a hard
I
slam. Things rolled in the trunk, probably a dead body, and hit the back of my seat.
That's true. There was a thump in the trunk.
It was a thump and an ow. It was weird.
Not to mention, I had no leg room in the front seat.
I didn't have much leg room right behind you. What was going on with the seat? Because I didn't have much leg room.
There was several bags. There was a Church's chicken.
What?
Like bag? Like her lunch was like right there.
As a driver, they put it in the front seat.
Yeah, like on the floorboard.
That's called a trash can. We throw it away.
Right, but I don't know if it was empty or not. I should have just, you know,
full
what I
of-
should have done.
Opened it up and
fingers.
went through it.
Man, I should have been like, oh, I love.
Oh, is this
Church's
for me?
chicken. Or maybe it was
Don't mind
Popeyes.
if I do.
It might have been Popeyes, but I should have
love
totally been
Popeyes.
like, oh, I love their sandwiches, and just started rummaging through it. Oh my god, that would have been so good.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
little cold, but it's all right.
So she is also a singer, and
yes.
she spells her name in a very unique way. So she told us we could just look her up based on her name, and lo and behold, one quick Google search away with her first name and the word music after it, she's the first one that popped up.
And she is
She's the undisputed queen of Florida.
correct.
I'm not going to give you her name, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're
but-
not gonna go with the name.
Yeah.
But we will say we were sitting with the queen, driving with the queen.
An undisputed
Royalty.
queen.
Yeah.
In Vegas, of all things.
And
I wonder if that has something to do about fighting though, because she's the undisputed. You know, so
she also has a
evicted.
5-octave range and a very unique tone that can seamlessly blend genres and give every song its own identity.
that's magical.
Golden lungs.
Oh,
what
it
I
just
heard.
another review
Golden
does say
lungs.
that she has golden lungs.
Yep. And she had a tour.
She started out as a child prodigy. She wrote her first song at the age of 4.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
And her-
I-
She had a tour that was unfortunately canceled, and this tour schedule
World
has
tour.
one date on it
That was canceled.
that was canceled.
So she put the schedule up with a big canceled banner on it, like a Taylor Swift kind of deal.
And I will say,
Pretty
I started out playing some snippets, and Mark's like, "Well, that's not that bad." And I'm like, "Oh, you just wait till you hear her
Once you get the
live."
edited auto tune out of there.
Yeah.
The live is, let me just say this: I am 100% tone deaf. I sing anyway. I don't care. You're gonna have to hear me. Mark's already heard me sing. You're gonna have to hear me sing later on when we actually go to karaoke.
Karaoke.
But I do it anyway. But I'm not
Because
trying.
you're having fun.
Correct. I'm not
Right.
trying to be an artist.
Right.
Because I never will be, because I know my limits. But I'm pretty sure that I can sing better than she can.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, you know what? She's doing what she loves to do.
Yep.
And that she feels that she's talented to do.
Sure.
And I wish her the best.
I can't give her check marks on most of the skills we've seen. Driving, singing, dancing. Well, we haven't seen her dance yet.
Well,
But-
I don't want to see her dance.
I give
she did
her,
dance in this video a little bit.
I give her kudos for her her grasp of conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Oh, that was interesting.
That was good.
She did.
The moon was brought up.
She did know quite a few.
I was getting
when
feisty up there.
she lost me on the buoyancy of the rocks for the pyramids.
You still had to get them to the top of the pyramid. Just
Correct.
because you use the buoyancy to get the rocks to Egypt, sure.
That's right.
But you still have to get them up several.
Yep.
The aliens floated the rocks over.
And the problem is the water that she was referring to that was once the Sahara Desert is several hundred, if not thousands of miles away from Egypt. So that buoyancy aspect goes right out the door. Right. But you know what? I wasn't going to steal her thunder. I wanted her to have a little fun. You know, I was really trying to push that simulation theory on her, but she wasn't.
She was not having it.
No,
Not
she
having it.
yeah. She's
Not
like,
having
I'm
it.
not an NPC.
I'm not an NPC. 'Cause
She is
I
main
turned,
character.
oh, it's main
character energy.
Yeah, and I was like, but then I turned to her and I was like, but haven't you ever asked if you're actually an NPC? Like, what happens if I'm an NPC? Have you ever not asked that question? She goes, oh, I'm not. I've got main character energy. And I'm like, okay, but have you ever asked that question? quickly change the subject.
If you watched movie Free Guy,
Mm-hmm.
right, we talked about, she is NPC Free Guy.
Yes,
She
Yeah,
goes
is
through her
Ryan
day,
Reynolds.
wake
Yep.
up, drive, eat church's chicken, drive, sing terribly,
It was
go to bed,
Popeyes.
drive.
It was Popeyes. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we're here for SHOT Show.
Yeah, we're here for SHOT
We
Show. We lived.
Yeah, we're alive.
We want to say thank you to our Lyft driver for a very
No, it was great.
entertaining trip. And again, I wish her the best.
5 stars.
For what?
I still have the Lyft notification. 5 stars.
You do. That's on you, dude. I'm not telling you what to do. I know what I would do.
We're alive.
He's judging.
You know
right
what
now.
I would do?
He's judging.
Well,
we should at least write a comment.
yes.
Something funny. Like,
Yes.
I would have been 5 stars, but the moon was disappearing.
No.
We need to talk about the energy. We
We
need to
should all
talk
the
about
time
the main
Yes.
character energy.
Yes.
Yeah, super main character.
That's
She
the comment.
stole my main character energy.
Exactly.
So
That
four,
is
4 stars because she stole my main character energy.
All right, we're writing it now, guys. Here we go.
not so good. But
Maybe
needless
a
to say,
tip, though. I don't know.
we did today. Today is my last day of SHOT Show. Mine and Nan's last day.
Flying out tomorrow.
Kyle, you're flying out tomorrow.
I'm
but it's
hitting
late.
it tomorrow. Tomorrow, if you guys don't know, Friday is the quietest day of SHOT Show.
Yep.
It ends at like 3, I
Yep.
think.
Yep.
And people are really out by like 2. Let's be real. A lot of people start packing up. Very quiet. So we really have like in the morning, and then it usually is the best day to go get some footage of something in loud places like Palmetto or something, because
Yeah.
no one's going to be there.
Yep.
But I leave tomorrow night, red eye, back East Coast.
Yeah. So you still got some things to
Yeah.
work on for tomorrow.
I got just a few more.
What do you think you're going to work on?
You know, you go throughout the week, and just like all of you guys following along at SHOT Show, you kind of hear about things that you've never seen, especially in the basement. Like we talked about it, like Daewoo's and Bisons and things like that. And, things like Yankee Hill Machine. They have like new suppressors for shotguns. I haven't talked to like Rise Armament. They got some cool triggers. Mira Safety is there, who is one of my go-tos for gas masks. They have a bunch of new filters out.
They call them protective masks.
Protective masks.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of new filters out designed specifically for firefighters to fight with just smoke in mind. They last a lot longer than the gas mask ones. You can run in there with smoke and help get more oxygen out of it.
I bet they could have used that in the Palisades.
They probably could have. Yeah. 1791. We already talked about.
We have talked
You
about
already
that.
talked to them. You had a video coming out. I talked to them. I
will
want to
have-
look
yeah,
at it again.
It'll probably my video. I mean, everybody's probably already seen the video by the time that they listen to this podcast. But I'm going to try to get it out this weekend.
It's crazy, yeah.
So I should have it edited tomorrow and then ready to drop for like Saturday or Sunday.
So stay tuned, guys. Definitely
Man.
check it out.
Man.
Half basically handguards that are half as light as anything on the market is just crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's not plastic either. It's strong metal.
It's an alloy.
Sorry, alloy.
Yep.
Mixed alloy.
It's a ceramic alloy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. And they've got the patent on that for 10 years, so nobody else can
Crazy.
use it.
And they're a
crazy.
leather company. I don't know where they came up with
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Well, and that's the
They hired
crazy
in.
thing. They changed their name. It was 1791 Leatherworks, and they've changed it to 1791 Industries. And I think that's a smart move, and that's why they brought
is.
that. They brought Justin in, and this is according to him. They brought Justin in specifically to basically broaden their horizons, to get them out of just the leatherwork stuff.
Leather's tough.
It is
Leather. There's a whole thing, not really against leather, but now that Kydex is around, like a lot of people are like, well, I don't really need that. Like,
Well,
it's
I
just
don't-
hard. Like belts maybe for sure, but
Yeah, and I don't use leather for anything other than a revolver.
yeah,
because
classic.
with like Glocks, leather molds itself to the firearm, and then as it starts to wear out, it starts to stretch, and then it can curl if it gets wet, and then that can get into the trigger well and cause a negligent discharge.
Yep.
And that's why I'm like, if anyone's using a leather holster for a polymer frame striker fired pistol such as a Glock, please don't do that. Please get something that has a Kydex trigger guard at minimum. So I love hidden hybrid holsters, love them, but I am very iffy about the fact that it has a leather backing.
I thought it was slippery. I thought I would throw I think I had one for the Shield. I tried it out, and I thought that it molds to it eventually a little bit, but it's still leather. And I think the Kydex kind of holds it in place, but anything like that is a little bit slippery unless you're like wearing it nice and tight. Make sure it's like really sealed up with the belt against it. I don't know. There's also that design is also really thick, in my opinion.
And I do like hidden hybrid holsters again for revolvers because you're right. Yeah. But the other thing that I really like them about too is on the backside they have kind of a felt that locks into your fabric. Like I carry inside the waistband, so underneath my jeans, and then that felt kind of locks in on my underwear, my boxers. You know. And so it doesn't really move. And that was one of the things that I really, really do like.
Whereas Kydex really does like to wiggle a little bit. Yep.
It does, yep. So
always adjusting those pants.
Yep. So, but back to Nan. So you were behind the camera the entire time.
Yes.
We did get a couple comments that said that I need to fire you because you make me look like I'm 5'3". Mm-hmm. Joke's on them. I'm 5'1", so they gave me 2 inches.
Suck it.
And we all know how important 2 inches are out there, guys. So what was some of your other thoughts and opinions about this week?
It was busy.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot. I don't know. I really honestly don't have a lot of thoughts. It was basically, as you described it, what I expected it to be.
Okay.
To be honest,
I prepared you.
You did a great job.
Okay. You haven't been on the strip very much. So,
not in 22 years.
Yep. So lots of change. You got to go to your 10th, 11th Wahlburgers.
10th and 11th.
Yeah, that was good. Very good.
So the great thing, so Nan is a huge New Kids on the Block fan, and Wahlburgers is a restaurant that is put together by Mark and Donnie
and
Paul.
And technically, their other brother owns a little stake in it.
Okay. So Nan is trying to go to every single Wahlburgers, which as the days go by, they end
more and more close.
More and more close, so it ends up being easier.
I just started keeping track randomly one day. It was never my intention to go to all of them. It just kind of, I started keeping track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's fun.
I'm just continuing to keep track.
This was your first time, Kyle, at Wahlburgers eating there?
Yeah, we had one in Raleigh for a few years, like right around the pandemic time. And I think that's why it closed, really.
Yeah.
We never had a chance to try it out. So, yeah, this was my first time. It was very tasty.
It was okay.
Good job.
Yeah. They got the wall sauce. Yep.
I like the wall sauce.
Yeah, not too bad. So we did that, and then once we got done there, I guess that was Monday night?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, after range day, all dusty and dirty. Yep.
Yeah. We just did...
No, wait, that was Sunday.
It was Sunday night.
We did that Sunday night.
Yeah,
Not
Sunday
dusty
night.
and dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sunday night because Monday night we went to Hofbrauhaus.
Hofbrauhaus.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yep. And I want to say a huge thank you to Clayco for buying a round of shots for himself, me, and Kyle, which then earned us a paddling from the... should I say it?
Uh-huh.
Should I say it?
Uh-huh.
The most clapped out Melania Trump Bless her heart. She, I'm sure, was gorgeous a decade ago.
We saw pictures next to the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah.
She was gorgeous 35 years ago.
But she's older now. And
she's here every year, though. It's like a rite of passage for us.
This is the third year. This is the third year we've gone to Hofbrauhaus, and she's been there with her paddle.
Yeah.
Every time.
And she carries her liquor bottles around, and she said, here's a shot, and here's a spanking.
Schnapps,
yeah. It was very good.
Yep. So that's our tradition. Every year we go to the Hofbrauhaus. So hopefully...
But this was your first spanking.
Yes.
It really was. We always laughed at everyone doing it, and we never did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So now you...
Well, because... There's a whole thing, man. I'm not into the whole BDSM freaking spanking stuff. That's not my thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's that gives. I'm sure there's some type of German tradition.
It is, yeah.
But it gives that BDSM vibe, and I'm just not. This is my thing. But since Clay did it, I wanted to obviously honor Clay and say, not be all stuck up or anything. So
it hurt. You get hit hard enough?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. It had a bit of a sting to it.
Snapped.
Yeah.
Slap.
It had a bit of sting.
I was walking back to the table. I was like, that wasn't as fun as I thought it would be.
Yeah, but I had some hecklers like looking at me, so I had to when I got spanked, I just had to give him. I didn't give him any expression whatsoever.
I told Mark when he got back to the table, "Are you kidding me right now? You had the golden opportunity to stare that guy in the face as she hit you."
Yep. I know. Eye contact and everything.
Yep. You should have just not even blinked.
Oh man, I didn't blink, but I didn't look at him. So.
Yeah.
Just one tear, no blinking.
Yeah. So anyway, Hofbrauhaus is a tradition. Great food, great atmosphere. It's like a communal dining experience because they have
a beer hall.
Yeah, it's a beer hall. Yeah. And then they have the beer garden.
Beer is good.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. I got into something today that I was very, very happy with. Stopped by and saw Bowaris, which my tongue-tied.
I'm not even going to try to say it. I can't say my R's. Yeah, the way it is.
Warus. And just because of my own speech impediments, I can't necessarily say it correctly. But them and Hassan Manufacturing, the three of us are going to team up, and they're going to get me a rifle. They're going to build it to spec exactly how I want it for competition, and I'm going to run it at Kalash Bash and then again at Kalashnikon, and I'm going to run it a couple of different ways. I'm going to run it like with a red dot for Kalash Bash and then probably a magnified optic for Kalashnikon, and I'm excited for it because it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a really good data point to test the Zenico clone furniture, their new handguards, their buttstocks. It's just going to be a really great opportunity to kind of test them in a competition environment. So that was really good.
Who is that company? What do they do?
Bowaris.
Bowaris?
Barwaris. They are making a Zenico clone. So for
the public.
Yeah.
Okay. Not like a custom shop or anything.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. They're doing.
So you guys can pick this up.
Yep. And
but
then,
Mark gets to pick every little detail that he wants on it.
Yep.
He was giddy.
Yep.
He's excited.
So I was excited about that. The guys over there are just fantastic. Christian and Cody and Juan, just great guys. Very excited.
Very
for me
sweet.
Yep, very sweet. They're very excited that I was over there. So so there's that. Got into some thermal optics today. There was a new company called X. I gotta look it up now. Where's Scott? There it is. X Vision Optics.
X Vision. Where are they on? They're in Venetian?
They're in the Caesars Forum.
Caesars Forum. Okay.
Yeah. So they have some handheld thermals that could also be mounted to a firearm, to like a rifle as a reflex sight.
Oh, cool.
So it has a screen that's about 3 inches by 3 inches. So it's a little beefy. It's a little big, but it's going to be about this. It's going to be a little larger than like a EOTech EXPS3.
That's not bad.
Not too bad. It's
And
going to be
for
a
thermal,
little
you
bigger.
want that.
A little bigger. But
You want the space. You want the room to kind of look at the focal plane and all that. Just kind of see what's out there.
Yeah.
What was the company that had the thermals that attached to the scopes?
Oh, right. That is ATN. That was ATN.
Yes.
They now have thermals that attach to the end of the scope. So you use your scope as you normally would. You would use your zoom on your scope. So if you had like a 3-12, you would zoom with that, which then just brings the image closer to your eye.
Digitally?
No.
Or use the optical.
You're using
use
so
the
it's doing a
optical
1x.
zoom.
It's doing a 1x on the digital, and then you're just zooming in and out of that.
Yep. And then once you zoom in through the optic, or through the scope, then you can use the digital zoom to zoom in even further. But naturally, when you do that, it's going to get very pixelated.
I was gonna say if you put an LVPL in there and you do 6x, is it like pretty clear? Is it or is it
Well,
grainy?
I don't think that to be honest with you, I don't think a LPVO would work.
Okay.
That was one of the questions that I had was what is the limitations for the scope size, right? So where I get it, the objective lens.
Yep.
What's the basically the tolerance? You know, can it go down to 24? Can it go up to 56?
Yeah.
You know, and the guy that I was talking to, his name's Ryan. He couldn't tell me. So I'm guessing that because this is all new.
I would say new prototyping.
They just launched it. So I'm going to assume that they're starting with like 50 millimeter. And then from there, they'll come out with new adapters.
Yeah, I just thought it was a pretty neat idea.
It is a neat idea.
You can use what already is on your rifle.
Exactly. Yeah, it is a new idea. We also went over and saw iRay. They have a new sister company called Knockpick. So NOCPIC, Knockpick. And that is going to be kind of their, dare I say, budget line of thermals that are still over $2,500. You know,
Ooh, you just picked that up at Walmart.
I know. They did have one model that had digital and optical zoom built into it. So I thought that was pretty cool. But that one was like pushing $6,000.
Is that all?
Yeah, I know, right? So 3 different thermal companies, and that's an area for me to brush up on to learn, because there's a lot of nuance in thermals. So yeah, that was pretty much.
You did suppressors today too.
Yeah,
big suppressor. Yeah.
Talked to Griffin. Had a great talk with them. They have a number of different suppressors that
Make these quiet.
piqued my piqued my interest. They have a new QD system. So like
Another one, huh?
like think chemo, only more simple.
Simple Mo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
I had a busy day.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did. We hopped around a lot.
Hopped around a lot. We had to go back down and see S&T Motive to get a
thumbnail.
They had to get a thumbnail picture of their K2 Daewoo's.
Yep.
Those are really cool.
Did you talk through that? I know those guys were kind of like hesitant on media stuff. So did you stand and talk about it, or did someone help you?
No,
He
they did not
talked.
help me.
They
at
didn't
all.
help you. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no. They basically coached me through what needed to be talked about as far as the rifles and stuff. They did ask me though how I felt about the K1s.
Yeah.
And whether or not we would be interested in K1s, and I said absolutely.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them.
Why is that even a question?
All of it. Send it.
Yeah,
Send it in.
exactly. Now, the reason why it's been so difficult to get it into the United States is all of these firearms are full auto or
Yes.
burst, right?
South Korean military issued.
Yes.
Yep.
So-
K1s are special forces.
I don't know.
What's the one on the end that had like the quad rail and all that? That wasn't K1.
That was the K13.
So the K13 is currently special forces, what he told
Yes,
me.
yeah.
So
yeah.
K and then the K2 is standard issue still. Or for the most part, I think he said. Or maybe the K1 is now kind of going. That's like the little collapsible stock one.
Yeah, I think that there's a small nuance. There's a small difference. I think it ends up being like the M16A1 versus the M16A2.
Yeah. Yeah. There's generations.
And then they had the K2C1, which is basically just a civilian upgraded version that has a Picatinny section
Yep.
on the top. So
I say send them all.
I would say so too.
They all take AR mags. Just do it.
Yep. But they have to basically retrofit them to be single action only firearms. So, or
Yep.
semi-auto, not single action, semi-auto.
Yep. And switch out the actual selectors and fix up the back of the receiver and all that. It look very similar to an AR if you guys haven't seen one. The
Yeah,
lower.
exactly. So, needless to say, today was an extremely busy day, and to be frankly honest with you, I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
I still have 4 videos to edit, and one of them is going to be simple. I just have to upload a thumbnail. That'll be easy. But the rest of them, it's going to be a lot of editing over the next couple of days. So,
Well, I am
Same.
hopeful you can get some done tomorrow.
Yep. What videos are you going to release, Kyle?
All right, so I just released today, if you guys haven't checked, which is Thursday for SHOT Show, January 23rd. Actually, I went to, let's see, I had Pelican. We talked about Pelican.
Oh, right.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Pelican
They have a
booth.
new luggage.
New luggage, hard, soft.
I'm interested.
I was talking with Tiberius, our boy Tiberius from Neomag, and he was like, "What's the most interesting thing you saw?" And I was like, "You're gonna laugh at me, but good luggage is interesting to me." Just because he's like, I travel so much. I busted 4 check bags. They busted 4 check bags. I didn't bust 4. They showed up busted at the terminal, little circle thing, right? Whatever it's carousel. And he was like, "Yeah, I busted 4 of them. The zippers would explode. Like they cracked the shell, whatever."
Well, and these are zipperless.
These are zipperless, waterproof, weatherproof, with the pressure cap and all that.
Yep.
All of it's user serviceable. So I launched that video if you guys want to check it out. Talk with the guys who helped design it and one of the product managers there as well.
One thing I would say is the luggage that I looked at, and I don't remember which one specifically, but I did kind of pick it up, and it seemed a touch heavy.
It is a case. It's by Pelican.
Yes.
And that is something I brought up. Hilarious. I told him, "Is this a Frontier approved or a Delta?" And he laughed because you know what that is. That's 40 pounds versus 50 pounds.
Yep.
So I'm like, dude, I think the week's worth of clothes. You got to check it back? Did you check it back?
Yeah.
This time?
Oh, yeah.
Checked
I
through.
checked.
we
I
should-
checked
we
the bag.
checked
Yeah,
free.
oh yeah. I checked the bag and it was like 35 because I have a little scale at home. So I was like, all right, 35. So I got like 15 pounds to play with. But if I was on Frontier, I'd be like, oh, I have like
5.
2 shirts worth to play with.
Yeah, it's one of those things where getting a full size Pelican suitcase, is probably not advised based on weight.
Yeah.
You would have to get a smaller, and I'm not saying like super carry-on small, but not the largest size.
Well, I mean, I would say that if you're not going to fly,
correct that anything goes,
Yeah.
but if you're going to fly,
yeah, I mean, if you're going to take a cruise on Carnival, no.
I mean, we would still have to fly to get there.
Okay, well, first off, we'll never take a Carnival.
I
cruise
realize
line.
that, unless it's new kids.
No.
He said no.
No.
He said no.
I am too good for Carnival. I
had
am
to
not,
cruise
I'm
Carnival.
not-
I had no choice.
I am not snooty, but when it comes to cruises, I've taken a Carnival cruise and I've taken a Royal Caribbean, and I will not do anything less than Royal Caribbean.
Royal's great. MSC, I hear, is pretty good. Haven't done any of those yet, though. But Royal's great.
what,
I've done
MSC?
MSC, yep.
Mediterranean Shipping Company.
Yeah. They have cruises.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Are you riding in a container?
Yeah. On top. They float. Haven't you seen them fly off the side with my AirPods in them?
The reason why I asked that is because my
They do
previous
MSC
day
cruises.
job was in logistics, right?
Yep.
And my job was to like find our containers. That was my job day in and day
At the
out.
bottom of the ocean?
Luckily, none of them made it to the bottom of the ocean. But what I can tell you is MSC was not our top performer. So, yeah. As far as
Norwegian. How about Norwegian?
I mean, I don't know anything about them.
It's for old people.
Is it?
We're getting there.
I would say Viking.
Viking. Let's go river cruising.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually am very, very interested.
Go
I
through
wanna
Germany
go
and
go
like
down the
all
Rhine.
that. The Rhine. Yep.
That would be cool. Why are we talking about
What were we
cruises?
talking? What were we talking about?
Pelican
Yeah.
suitcases.
All right, here's the deal with Pelican. Here's my use case. I'm not thinking checked bag just because I get it. It's heavy. I haven't weighed it yet. Maybe I'll talk to them and see if I can get one in. We'll
Yep.
weigh it. Or I'll even look at the product specs on the site that they just launched.
Yep.
And I'll compare it to like a generic Costco one that we have, right?
Yep.
Now, I'm more excited about the carry-on because I thought even if it is heavy, it's a really nice carry-on. And the organization of it, as Pelican does well with organization inside, is fantastic.
Yep.
And it can compress they have a compression built-in thing. Great. So carry-on's great, and it's better than the Pelican Air they have now, which is 2 wheels.
Right. But how crazy is that you come to SHOT Show and we're talking about luggage?
You know what else is crazy? You know I did a video on it today I totally forgot about?
What's that?
Garmin.
I mean, I could see that.
Garmin's here.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like they only have a couple of years in a row now or something. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's new? All their watches they announced at CES, and CES was a show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what do you have? And they have this and this, and there was like the what's the name? Have you had messed with Garmin's yet?
No, but Jefe has.
They are
He's
all
got
in
one.
on smartwatches now.
Yeah, yeah.
And they want to pretty much like dethrone Apple Watches. And after
that won't be
playing with
hard.
them, it's not hard. I'm wearing an Apple Watch. I'm about to get rid of it and get a Garmin. I talked to them. I'm like, I'll review a Garmin if you send it to me. What was it, the Instinct 3 and the Felix or something? Felix is the fancy one. I think it's called Felix. I can't remember. But it was Felix is the fancy one that's like full color, Google Map display, satellite imagery on the watch, and it lasts like 20 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Apple Watch dies before lunch. Like, guys.
Yeah.
So we did that, and they talked about the new dog collars have like a 9-mile range, no subscription. It's based on a GPS. You have a handheld GPS system, and there's no subscription for it.
That's good
9-mile
for-
range on
yeah.
a hunting dog.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Was it pretty small?
Very small.
Very small.
Like AirTag size on the collar.
Really?
They have a micro version now.
Because have you seen like hunting dog like collars that they use
With a big wire and stuff.
Yeah, the big wires
They have a
and-
wire, but it has a mini antenna now. The thing's probably the size of maybe like 2 of the Zippos we got from Dead Air the other day, stacked up.
We
got some cool swag.
We got some cool swag from.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So we were standing at Dead Air, and they had beer. So naturally, we grabbed a beer in an actual glass that we get to keep.
Yep, a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. And then we're like, "Where's the Zippos? They had been giving away Zippo lighters and cigars, and obviously, Nan and I went to Pelican.
Yep, you were
'Cause
there.
They were doing
the raffle.
They were doing a raffle.
We didn't win.
And
We're
beer.
losers.
We didn't lose. Yeah,
I tried
exactly.
today. I didn't win. Losers.
And then they had beer as well. So then we decided to go back to Dead Air because Kyle had been at
I
Dead-
texted you and I
Dead
said,
Air.
"Hey,
Yes.
get over here. They have
Yeah.
engraved Zippos."
So then we do go back, and the Zippos are gone.
Yep.
But then I
Very
look
sad.
over, and I see one of the employees. He's got a box. He's holding a box. And I look, and I see that it says Zippo on the side of it. And I told Nan, I said, hey, go over to him and tell him that Mike told you that you need that box. And
Oh, I didn't quite say that I need the box. I said, Mike told me that I was supposed to come over here and get a lighter.
Yeah.
And then the other guy goes, well, that sounds suspicious. And he's like, what's the secret handshake?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a Top Gun high five. It's always a Top Gun high five.
And then she did it.
So I gave him a
watched it
Top
in the
Gun
corner
high
of my eye.
five.
Yeah.
And I got a lighter.
Yeah, and she got a lighter for me. So it's a really nice. I posted in the stories. It was a really nice Zippo with actually a modest Dead Air Sandman X logo.
Yeah.
On it. It wasn't gaudy. It wasn't huge on the
No,
lighter.
it's
It's just
very
nice.
tasteful.
Some of those ones are weird and have like a freaking piece of sheet metal on top. Sometimes on the Zippos, like way heavy. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is very nice.
But
Laser
that was
etched.
pretty cool swag.
Like 5-pack of cigars too.
I didn't get any of those. I don't care about cigars.
No. I occasionally I'll dabble. We had
Yeah.
like fun at Paris yesterday and go to the parties all week.
So-
Oh, you guys have a fun. We had some
Yeah.
parties. But you have a funny party to talk about.
And so that's one of the things about SHOT Show 2, and this actually plays well into this part 2 section, is that every single night there's going to be some type of after party, and there's tons of them. I mean, every single night there's probably 3 or 4 happening simultaneously. You're invited to every single one. Most of the time, most people
Well, you're not
are going-
invited. You have to
Well,
look for the invitation.
do,
There's
you
some
do.
secret handshakes and stuff going on.
Yeah. Sometimes you get an email invite.
Yeah.
I've been to guns.com now. This is the 4th year in a row I've been to the guns.com, but I never get invited. Yet Chris and Trey, Chris from Clovertac and Trey from Ghost Tactical, they're always invited.
Were they even there?
Yeah, they were there.
We saw them?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Trey came up and gave me a hug while I was talking to Caleb.
Oh, yeah. we
Is
have
that
Caleb,
where
yeah.
I saw Clovertac's wife?
Yes.
Okay. Because I
Yeah,
talked
she was
to
sitting
her.
down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And OG. I met that guy.
Oh yeah.
Great
OG's
dude.
Danger Show. Freaking Greg. Love Greg. He and I are going to get together in July. We're going to go up to Idaho, go up to
Love
Danger
Idaho.
Mountain, and we're going to do some collab work.
We all moving to Idaho someday? Oh, you're going to Wyoming.
I'm going to
We'll be
Wyoming.
neighbors.
Yeah.
I love Idaho.
So the after parties, We did the Global Ordnance reception, which is nice. It's always great to see Kat. Kat's our good friend.
Packed bar though.
Packed
That's
bar.
the problem
I mean,
with that one.
yeah,
That's a
it's
small
like-
location with
Yeah.
like 500 people.
It's like elbows up, drive the lane to get anywhere. Let's see. What was Tuesday night? I forget. There was a get
It's the
together.
first big night.
Yeah, we had a get together on Tuesday night, I think.
No, we came here.
Oh, we did
First podcast
We did the first podcast
with a
but
bunch of people here.
We made our own party.
But it was after dinner where we went to.
We did go to dinner. What did we do, man?
This is what happens when we've been talking and fogginess of the show.
I mean,
Where
that's
did-
what this whole week is.
Where did we have
where
dinner?
we go on Tuesday?
Because we set everything up for recording starting at 9 to make sure that like Joe and Matt and everybody had a chance to eat.
Oh, we had tacos.
Oh,
that tacos
Taco del Gordo. Was it Taco del Gordo?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh man, that was so good. That was the best. Rodrigo, if you're listening to this,
Rodrigo hooked us up.
again, you hit
Tacos El Gordo.
Taco El Gordo.
It was like a Mexican cafeteria setup with like
Yeah.
multiple lines, and these were just delicious.
the best tacos I've ever had.
Just
So,
off the strip down
yep,
near Peppermill.
Rodrigo freaking hit a home run with that one. So, that was Tuesday night. But after guns.com, which was Wednesday night, we all congregated together, kind of mingled back and forth, got to see Commando Bond, who's been, on the podcast. And
Good
then
dude.
Nan and I got a invite to the Cry Precision Party.
They
which
make
is,
pants.
Yes, they do. And plate carriers. That's supposed to be a freaking banger of a party. And
Oh, so the tale was told.
that's what we were told. Good friend to me, Roger from QVO Tactical, he gave me an invite, and it's like again, secret handshake type of
Legit.
thing.
Hush, hush.
And you have to have the invite to get in. And then there was like a dress code to get in. You had to dress up as
American Gladiator?
American
Or
Gladiator
Patriot,
or
Revolutionary
Patriot.
War, or
Yeah,
something.
like that. Well, lucky for us, unlucky for Kyle, unlucky for
All the rest
Clay.
of our crew.
Yeah.
Rodrigo was like, "Where's my pass?"
Well, see, that's the thing, man. Freaking Clay, Rodrigo, Clay and Rach and Rodrigo, they were coming to the guns.com party, but then they like cut it off. They wouldn't let
Yeah,
anybody
30
else
minutes
in.
before the end, they were like, "No
Yeah.
more." Yeah.
Yeah, so they couldn't get in, and then Clay's asking me, he's like, "How do I get to the Cry party?" And I'm like, "It's invite only, man. This is like I'm thinking that's like this is like you don't get in. There's going to be a bouncer and all that type of stuff." So they're like, "Oh, that's okay. We'll go to Circle Bar. We'll figure something else out." Cool. So Nan and I, we go and get on the bus that takes us over to this place.
Did you need a pass for the bus? Did
No.
they even look?
No, they didn't even look.
We could have just boarded. It
Yeah,
was like, we should
just
have
jumped
tried.
on, and there was like this was like a full like
We should have all tried.
charter. Yes,
We should have just went.
No, here's the thing. This was like a charter bus, and there was 3 of us. There was me, Nan, and this one other dude. Right? Because it was like
45 empty seats.
it was like
Yeah.
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 Because it was like 10:30 at night. Right?
Now, I will say when that bus unloaded right before we got on, it was full. And then
Yes.
everybody unloaded. And I'm like, is this the right bus? And Mark's
No.
like, look at the way they're dressed. This is the right bus. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
valid.
So we got on, and then we drove like it was probably a 25-minute drive. Had a great conversation with the guy next to me. Talked about long range shooting, like 5.56 long range shooting. So we kind of geeked out on ballistics and stuff like that.
Who was he?
Weights.
Any channel or anything?
No, he's obviously involved in the gun industry. He's a trainer,
Okay.
a SWAT guy from New Hampshire.
I love New Hampshire.
Yeah, and his range crazy. I think New Hampshire, I think a very, very small state, but their range is like out to 2,000 meters.
Yeah.
Not near the coast. I grew up in Portsmouth, so yeah, he had to go inland somewhere like
Yeah.
Manchester. Middle of the state is very remote.
Yeah.
You can get up there in the middle of nowhere.
So anyway, we show up, and there's people congregating outside, taking smoke breaks or whatever. We just walk in. No one checks nothing. So everybody could have come. Clay could have come. Rachel could have come. You could have come.
We could have all been disappointed together.
Exactly. We walk in, and Nan, please explain the settings. You have it best.
Okay.
You said it best.
And I'm able to say that?
I don't care.
Okay.
Cover your kids' ears.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not
not-
that
no,
bad.
no.
I don't want to
It's
disrespect
not that bad.
anybody.
I don't think you're going to disrespect anybody, but let me just say this: the theme was American Gladiator or Revolution,
Yep.
like Revolutionary War. So you had half of the people dressed up as American gladiators, and then you had the other half with like people wearing either the British flag or the American flag as capes, or there were a few people dressed up like George Washington type of thing,
Yeah.
with powdered wigs and that type of thing. You know,
Long blue coat.
yeah.
Yeah,
Some
blue and
people
white coat.
actually like went all out. You know,
Yeah, if they got the word ahead of time, I would have been like ordering on Amazon.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
I
Just
will
set
say,
up,
walking in was very interesting. We go through a door. There's a big pile of dirt next to us.
Yeah, like
There's-
we're inside, and there's like a 8-foot pile of dirt inside.
Yeah, and then there's like a bunch of tent flaps made out of canvas that we have to go through, and each one is decorated a little bit differently in the little passages. And then there's this
Tunnel.
tunnel, that like inflatable tunnel that we had to walk through that was smoky.
Yep.
And we get in, and there is just
It smells like shit.
yeah, and there's just rave music blaring. It was good. And I just really felt like we were at a rave and everyone was on ecstasy, but they came off that ecstasy about 3 hours ago, and then it's still just
Still
people
going.
trying.
Yeah.
It's like going through the motions.
Yeah.
Still going.
The energy was like gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, no.
I mean, there's still people. There were people having a good time.
Yeah.
There were people. There was this big like inflatable pyramid that you could crawl up on and then bounce down. You know.
like American Gladiator.
Yeah.
There were,
exactly.
yeah, there were different, and there were cages, gladiator stages. So there was the cages. There was some. I don't know if there was a Gatling gun. I'm
They
trying to
had
think.
something going on. Like, yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
I
Like
mean, I
live
used to
fire? What is it?
watch a lot of American
no,
Gladiators.
They were like. You remember in American Gladiator, they had like the harpoon.
Oh, yep.
They had the same type of thing, but it was muskets for
Oh.
like, the Revolutionary War type
Yeah.
of thing. You
They
know?
went all out. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely at some point this was all out
Yeah,
for sure.
But by
I
the
guess
time
you came towards the end, though.
well, I mean, no, it goes till 2 a.m.
Yeah,
What
and
time was this?
11.
11. So this should have been like the prime time when things are really starting to heat
But
up.
it started at 6 or something, right?
I think it started at 7.
7. Okay, yeah.
So,
Okay, yeah.
but needless to say, I mean, I guess it's a thing.
It's still a party. Yeah, that counts
But-
as a party.
It does. But one of the things that Nan and I said that we felt that the guns.com party was more enjoyable.
We had our friends there and could
Yeah.
chat
I
and
just-
sit on the couch.
Yeah.
And
I
drink.
guess I'm just too old that the rave really isn't my scene anymore.
Yeah, my eyes, my ears.
It's not even that. It's just like this. We except for a few people that we knew that were there, it seemed like almost everybody there was like 20 to 24
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of, I would say the
and
probably
living their best life at 20 to 24.
And you need to be high to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's plenty of people that can have fun no matter where they go.
Yeah.
But I would say out of probably the 500 people that were there, I knew 5 people. 5 people.
500 people you think were there?
5
1,
other
2,
people
3,
besides Nan.
4, 5, 6. You knew at least 6.
No, I knew.
I guess I'm considering the group of three different people, but
yeah,
you only
right.
really
I
knew
didn't
one
know-
of them.
I didn't know the fiance. That was the first time I.
You knew the 2 boys?
Yeah. I
Okay.
did, yeah. Those guys crack me up. And then I bumped into somebody, not physically, just kind of walked by and kind of gave the side eye.
Kansas neighbor was there.
Our neighbor in Kansas was there, which he's an interesting dude. Good dude, but just interesting.
Pirate dude?
Just huh?
Pirate dude? Dude looks like a pirate?
Pirate.
Gray hair.
Yeah. We pointed him out to you.
Yeah, I just say it looks like, it looks like a pirate. Yeah.
Pirate.
Just actually-
That's an interesting way to say it.
Well, we always see him almost every year.
Yes.
At Hofbrauhaus.
Hofbrau.
Yeah,
that's
the same
correct.
night that he
Exactly.
knows our
Yeah.
schedule. We go there. Everyone
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a good relationship with him.
Yeah, he seems like a
just
good
just interesting dude.
Yep.
But he was having a great time, which is great. But I was not impressed by the cry party. Again,
No.
we showed up later than probably when this party started. Where Nan and I are older, so not to be a FUD or anything, but
A buzzkill.
well, my hearing's all jacked up, right? So even at the guns.com party, I can't hear
Oh,
like
yeah.
30%. I
What
can
I
only
will
hear
say,
like
though,
30% of what
is the
people are saying.
music at the gun.com party was on freaking point.
Yeah, it was good. There's some
it's
thumpers
better
there.
variety.
People singing along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
mean,
it
'cause
was my music.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we're like turn of the century hip hop, you know.
Yep. And like Sweet Caroline.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
The usual good stuff.
where
I mean, Montel Jordan. Hello.
Yeah.
and whereas Cry was like freaking
It's just rave.
Freaking-
No, more of his style. Yeah, more of that.
but it's basically the same thing. So parties are big.
Parties are big, yep. Eating out's big, as we know.
Yeah,
Different
that
people at different
ramen place
restaurants.
that we went to, that was great.
I recommended
that
some
was
ramen
good.
for these
Yeah.
guys because they have not had ramen. I think you mentioned gray meat the last time you had ramen.
It was
Yep.
bad.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
this was not
I
gray
wanted
meat.
I wanted to try good ramen.
I had good ramen in El Paso of all places, which was nice, but haven't had any since, and that was 2019. So finding this place was really good.
I had
Yes.
the Japanese curry, which was very tasty.
That was good.
right.
That was
It's like
good.
a rice with either
I
some
was
kind of
worried that
protein and gravy.
I tried a few bites of it, and I was worried that it was going to be extra spicy, but it wasn't. It
No,
was,
very nice.
Yeah.
They did a good job there.
The tacos we already talked about, and then
Ooh,
tonight we're going to head down to Fremont.
Yep,
we're
old
gonna
Vegas.
link up with Clay and Tony and Rachel and Rodrigo and whomever else
Whoever
shows
else
up.
shows up. We just need to tell them when we get there.
Yep. So it's going to be a good time.
Get some
and-
dinner, get
yeah.
some concert in, get some gambling, some dancing, singing.
Yep.
Apparently,
Supposedly there's karaoke.
I hear
Oh,
karaoke.
Yeah. And so we're going to burn it down tonight.
Yeah, last night. Yep, it's gonna be
Yeah.
good.
So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
We're going to hit probably 2 hours by the time this is all edited and everything. But before we get out of here, last 30 seconds, Nan.
No, don't.
No. Listen, hey,
Her face is like, oh,
what do we say?
no.
What do we say?
We listen and we don't judge.
That's right.
Judge, do it.
Of the week, what's the most? What impressed you the most of everything that we did this week? Whether it be at SHOT Show, not at SHOT Show, whatever. What was the thing that impressed you the most? What was the most disappointing?
Okay. My favorite part, honestly, is the people.
Okay, that's fair. That's good. Yeah.
So
You finally got to meet Joe.
I got to meet a lot of people that I haven't met before. But
Yes.
yes, I did finally get to meet Joe. Little fangirl. Really like that podcast. It's a great podcast.
I do.
Um,
Because the people's the best part was the worst part.
come back to me for the worst.
Okay. Kyle, best thing you saw, worst thing you saw, or best thing that happened this week, worst thing. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I came up with the worst.
Okay.
The sheer amount of dogs that are at the show that I am not able to touch. That's the worst
A lot
part.
of do not touches
I got-
literally spelt out.
I got to pet 2 puppies.
Oh.
One, did I not show you this picture? One is a wolf dog.
Wolf dog.
It's a wolf
we talked
hybrid.
about that. That was a nice, pretty, like, sitting nice.
Gorgeous dog.
Yeah, Mark was like, we got to save this and frame this picture.
His
Yes.
name's Cobain. And then today, I didn't get the dog's name, but I do have a sticker of the dog.
The dude
And
made a sticker of the dog.
Sweetest Rottweiler.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a fan of Rottweilers, but that was
He was cute.
That was a legit dog.
He was
Yep.
cute.
Gotta pet that dog.
So I will say that, yes, that was probably the worst part for me, was not being able to touch the pups.
Yep, because you're a huge dog fan.
I'm a huge dog
Yep.
fan.
So,
Love a good fluffy. Yeah.
all right, so Kyle, your favorite, worst?
You know, this year was interesting. So we talked about it. I'm curious to see the attendance for this year. I thought it was kind of, it wasn't really like quiet because Wednesday's super busy.
Yeah.
Wednesday's always packed, but today seemed a little bit more mild, which is good. I thought that one of the best things, I mean, there's a lot of good products, and of course we both have videos coming out. So you guys, those are really the things we're interested in anyways. I think we're not doing this for nothing. It's just for things that intrigue us. I would want to record and talk about anyways. But I thought the people this time around specifically, like we have our friends and our groups, but we're expanding that group, meeting new people. I've never met Clay.
Yeah.
Rodrigo. We've never stayed together. We've all hung out throughout the week. I saw Smash Time today. Saw Clover Tack, OG, all these people. I've added a lot more to my network now, and not just from a professional standpoint, but just people we can like bounce ideas off of and talk and about different products. And then the products, there wasn't anything really like super exciting, like not like revolutionary this year, but there's enough new stuff. There's enough new stuff that gets me intrigued where I'm like, oh, okay, there's some cool stuff coming out, and we can collect things and test things and all that.
Yep.
I would say the worst of it, which is year after year, this place is massive.
Yeah.
It's like, what was it, like 500 F-15s or something they used to say?
Yeah,
something like
that.
crazy number, because you got Venetian 1 floor, Venetian 2 floor, with a couple of outskirts on there,
Yep.
and Caesar's Forum, which is like 3 or 4 rooms that are freaking massive, like several football fields each. Walking, standing, talking all day, and then like the whole wine and dine thing we do, which is obviously fun, but it's a long day.
Yeah.
And we're not young, but we're getting
cranking
older.
out 4 to 5 hours of sleep.
Yep. And then we go to bed at 2 and we're up at 7 because we got to get our free muffins at the media room. And
Yeah.
so that's probably the worst of it, but honestly, wouldn't change it with the world. Fantastic.
Yeah. Greatest thing for me, real quick, before we get out of here, is the thing that I love the most about SHOT Show is meeting those connections. There's always, like you just said, there's always new people, but mainly making new connections with new companies to test out new products. Like today was a huge day with me, not only with Barwaris, if I could say it correctly. Sorry, Juan, I'm butchering it, but that was epic. But also like with Griffin, being able to sit down and talk to Ben and Meta, which was very interesting.
Very interesting name.
Not the Facebook?
No.
And she's 25, so it's not like she's
smart as a whip.
Yeah, it's not like she's super young is what I mean. I mean, she's young, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's not like she's 12 being named by...
You know who she reminded me of?
Huh.
Vic.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, in the face.
No.
In the face. Yes,
No.
in the face, because she
No.
had a very Russian look. She did. Yeah. That's why she reminds me of Vic.
I disagree, but okay.
That's fine. You can. So that was the best part. And then I have to piggyback with yours. It's so, the worst part is that it's so big and I'm getting so
It's a grind.
old. Less than a month, I'll be 47 and my feet hurt.
Yeah.
I have comfortable shoes on. My feet still hurt. My back is killing me right now. It tightens up from the standing and the walking, the standing and the walking. But at the end of the day, every single year I dread coming to this, and every single year I'm so glad I came.
Yeah. It's still a fun time, and as long as you put the work in, as long as you're not partying all week, and you put the work in, you can really better yourself, better your network, better ideas for the channel, which you put up a good point, Griffin, right? So normally I think we would just kind of spray and pray. A lot of times back in the day, I would just run around and I'm going to get 30 videos. 30 videos, 30 cool things, blah, blah, blah. This time around, I'm like, I want to do things that are really interesting that I could learn about more.
Yes.
Like we're talking about like Daewoo's and other things like that.
Thermals.
And thermals.
Yeah.
And you said suppressors. You weren't even going after an edge where I need to get a free suppressor.
No.
What I want to do is I want to learn why this one, why that one,
Yes.
why that adapter, but not that adapter. And I want to take that knowledge, pass it on to everyone else throughout the year.
Exactly. And
Fantastic.
That's exactly the angle. That's almost verbatim what I said to Ben over at Griffin. Is like, hey, just so you know, I'm a content creator. I'm not here for anything free.
Yeah.
Not
I just
here
want to
for
learn.
free. I want to learn. Exactly. I want to learn, and I want to be able to regurgitate that what I've learned in a digestible manner to people who are just getting into suppressors, or maybe don't know the difference between a titanium versus a Inconel versus a steel suppressor. I don't even know. I'm just now learning that there's 3 different types of suppressors as far as their metallurgy goes.
Yep.
And pretty much all of them are now 3D printed for the most part.
Crazy.
Zastava, they have their freaking suppressor now that's very Wolverine-esque.
Lots of adapters coming forward too.
Yep.
Like that's going to be adaptable for a lot of things.
So anyway, that's what I have to say about SHOT Show 2025, and I think we did a pretty decent wrap up of all the shenanigans that happens not only at the show but behind the scenes at the show, getting to and from, and the parties and just everything that we get into. Got a number of different leads on people who would like to be on the podcast, so we should have a number of guests coming up. Kyle, are you familiar with Boondock Ballistics? Have you met Jesse or seen Jesse? You familiar?
Boondock Saints.
Yeah, of course.
No, not Jesse. Nope.
Okay, so
Not yet.
up and coming channel.
Okay.
Growing like you wouldn't believe, man.
What's he do?
It's she
What's she do?
gun reviews,
Okay.
and I think she's a
Is that really young girl?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
She's a sweetheart. I DM back and forth with her all the time, spitball ideas with her, and she's like, "Yeah, no, maybe change this." And she's just loves all the attention that she's getting, not in a narcissistic way, but like people are like asking her advice, right?
Yeah.
I just got her lined up for the show as well. So
And she
I'm
has a
excited.
passion for firearms.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so she wants to learn and all that. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to leverage one of her suppressor videos as a catalyst to help build my knowledge on it as well.
Good.
But the whole point is, and I think she's a ballisticician. She works as she like does something for a firearms ammo company. Like she,
Oh.
like, I think.
So an industry person. Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll figure that out.
Hey, there's a podcast about it coming up.
Hopefully. So we got a number of different guests. That's the whole point is I'm saying is we got a number of different guests that are going to be coming up. But with that being said, we have a long night ahead of us to get going to. Yep. We got steak to go eat, and we have karaoke to be a part
Sing.
of. To sing. Oh, I'm not singing.
You're
gonna
singing.
sing.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, we're
not
gonna-
singing.
I
get
am
Mark
going to
drunk
get
enough to
you up.
sing.
No,
Nope.
encourage him.
Sweet Caroline.
No.
Or you more Taylor Swift.
You guys. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so
Achy
much
breaky.
for staying with us, and we will catch you in the very next episode. This is the end of the Shit Show Extravaganza 2025. Don't forget to live, laugh, and LARP. Bye, y'all.